It's officially the second month of the year, 2020. A month filled with love, giving, and sharing. And of course, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. I just wanted to chip that one in there.
These are the kind of things that TT likes.
Yeah.
It's our very first edition of the show in the month of February 2020. Yesterday was 0202-2020.
Interesting
And
number.
I heard that happens like once every 1,000 years or something crazy like that. But anyway, we have a bunch of things lined up for you on the show today. So stick around, make sure you stay with us on the show.
We need you to be on lookout because we're going to be celebrating the month like no other. I'm going to be starting with something special. I have a dynamite quote for you.
Oh boy.
Great things never come from comfort zones, people.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So you need to push yourself
Push.
out there. Now, we have a fully loaded show for you today. So I advise that you stick around with us. My name is Yomi Owope.
And I'm Titi Lyle Onyison. Now, we have quite a bit happening. You don't want to miss any as long as you're streaming with us. That's tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook Live at TVC Connect.
Send in your comments using the hashtag WakeUpNigeria across all our social media platforms on the show.
We hope that you know this is very important information. Our app is available for download. Just visit the Android or iOS store. Watch us from your mobile devices from anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Now, we're going to be going straight to this morning's highlights, a bunch of things that we have over the next 3 hours. And with so much advancement in the world of technology, we can't but help to try to keep up at every single point.
We have tech updates
Coming up.
Then our first musical performance is from Afro-pop artist Flamex.
Then it's a trip down memory lane for us. I like that photograph. Tupac Shakur. Man. Yeah, so we'll be talking a bit about stuff that happened this week in history.
Right after that, we have a second musical performance for you. Oluwaseun Fikayo, also known as Chilex, is going to be here.
And Victoria Praise Abraham, VPA, the one and only. She's going to be joining us on the show this morning, and she's a best-selling author, motivational speaker, and she was talking about always be prepared.
Then on our auto segment today, Auto Sparkle have this waterless car interior detailing that they do. And they'll be showing us a thing or two when it comes to cleaning vehicles.
Now today on Spoken Word, we have rap musician and spoken word artist Toby Tone, independently writing his stories through music and poetry.
When you ask me how I'm doing in the middle of a busy day, with the skies unsure what weather suits the day.
And finally on SME today, we have from House of Irao, Abi and Dola Ikomi. Now they have this high quality, ready to wear and custom made Nigerian brand that aspires to become a global leader.
House of Irao, that's star.
Beautiful.
Welcome to February, guys.
Yeah, welcome to February.
February.
I'm like 2 days ahead of you guys, but it's all right. I already said it twice over the
It
weekend.
happens.
The weekend was good. Yesterday was my wife's birthday.
Oh,
So,
Happy
yeah.
birthday to her.
Okay.
seriously.
Okay.
02/02/2020. So it was nice. It
All right.
was,
So if we're talking birthdays, my grandmother's birthday was on Saturday.
okay.
And she just turned 78. Wow. So that's my mom's mom. Like 78. So like generation is still complete. Like my mom's mom, my mom, me, my kids, all women.
Okay.
We're all complete, you know.
Nice.
That's nice.
Yeah. So the kids went to go say hi, you know, she hung out with them. She has other grandkids that she hang, you know, but the twins are, you know, they're special. They're special.
Yeah.
First twins. But then I was given a name, Amokwe. Do you know what that means? So that likes to know them complete or something like that in Yoruba. I don't know how to translate it exactly.
Or rough translation.
Yeah, rough translation is to know them complete. So
This is when you need Mr. Musa.
Yeah, you need him to tell you.
Tell you in your ear.
You would have just whispered it now.
You would just go.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Why is your language this way?
What does that even mean?
What's
It's
happening?
even hard for people that speak the language.
Wow.
No, it depends.
it has
depends.
so one of the things my undergraduate project, my first undergraduate project had to do with poetry, and it's because it's really difficult to explain in English what
you're trying
the
to say in
depth
Yoruba, because some things
Yoruba
are
language.
really
And there are a number of languages that are also like that. Hebrew is also a bit like that. Aramaic and all of that, really deep. So you just drop a meaning and then you can explain it easily in English. That's on the surface. But when you then go deeper, it's then more difficult.
And that's what caused the Pope having to edit some things 2 years ago. Some prayers, just like 2 lines in the Bible and all, because it turned out that it wasn't correctly translated. Even some Catholic prayers were also edited some years back, because the initial translation apparently didn't quite capture the true meaning. So translation can be really intense. It's a big deal.
People broke it down, like she spoke about when you talk translating at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it's so interesting, everything we have to talk about today. There's still so much time for us to gist. But we know it's time for the news now, and Yomi has that on lockdown.
All right, now, Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria is calling for the recognition of the Police Service Commission in checking the excesses of police officers. TVC News correspondent Tijesu Adeoye reports on the concerns of the civil rights group.
Reports of abuse of power, extrajudicial killings, extortion, and other infractions involving policemen seems to be on the rise lately. These days, the police is becoming unfriendly to the citizenry they are meant to protect. Not all incidents of injustice meted out by policemen are reported.
I've been called to order.
Now this civil rights group is saying if the Police Service Commission was allowed to do its work, these excesses would be curbed. The most recent incident is the unlawful arrest and brutal torture of a group of motor mechanics in Port Harcourt, leading to the death of one. Now this group has shifted focus on the Police Service Commission and believes it has the capacity to maintain decent police force.
I want to call on the Police Service Commission to look at the complaints we've sent to it over 6 months, that they have not even bothered to even write us back to tell us that they have a complaint. Appeal to Nigerians that they need to ensure that the Police Service Commission must not be allowed to die.
The police force and the Police Service Commission are currently locked in a superiority contest, and the matter is yet to be settled by a court of law. The police have always maintained that they have an internal mechanism to discipline erring officers, but it seems this has not deterred others. The unprecedented rise in professional indiscipline and misconduct by some members of the police force has got some Nigerians asking questions on if the police is truly your friend. Tijesu Adeoye, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, authorities of the Army Headquarters Garrison is celebrating an age-long tradition, the West African social activity. It is an A-list social event meant to foster comradeship among officers. Defense correspondent Sifon Essien reports.
The West African Social Activity WASA is an age-long event of the Nigerian Army which dates back to the Second World War. It is meant to celebrate the contribution of officers and men of the Nigerian Army in the defense of the country. The diverse ethnic groups in the barracks showcase their rich culture through various mediums.
West African social activity plays a vital role of eliciting nostalgia among the older generation of the barracks community by reminding them of the memorable tradition of typical Nigerian villages.
The event, which could easily pass for a carnival, is also meant to foster comradeship among troops while reminding them of the task ahead.
excitement for the troops. They are happy to have survived the year. That's why they rolled out the drums to celebrate. Sifon Essien, GVC News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, a disaster was averted at a church in Kaduna State yesterday when a suspected suicide bomber was arrested. 34-year-old Nathaniel Samuel pretended to have come to church to worship, but left to use the convenience room, leaving behind a bag on his seat suspected to be an explosive device. Tension began to grow among the worshippers, and the security team in the church came in and took the bag. The suspect was caught hiding, possibly waiting for an explosion. He was handed over to the State Police Command for interrogation. It was learned that it wasn't the first time the suspect was coming to church, having been sent away just a week earlier.
We've gone through our CCTV camera. We didn't see where he entered, but we saw how he entered the church and how he jumped the back and everything. The camera has not been able to pick him entering the church from both gates. How he managed to sneak in with that bag, it's a big bag, the normal school bag. It's something that we're still trying.
Now in health matters, Lagos State Ministry of Health has dismissed reports of a suspected case of coronavirus at the private hospital in Lagos. Commissioner for Health, Akin Abayomi, says the man arrived from China 4 days ago and needed to be monitored as part of response measures. Mr. Abayomi says the man was in Shanghai throughout his stay, but didn't have any contact with anyone who was ill from Wuhan region. On his return to Lagos, he went to the hospital for checkup, but was found to exhibit no symptom and chose to go on self-quarantine. Meanwhile, a man has died of the coronavirus in Philippines, the first confirmed fatality outside of China. The World Health Organization says the man appeared to have been infected before arriving in the Philippines. So far, more than 300 people have died and thousands have been infected since the outbreak. But what measures are other countries taking to curb the spread of the disease? In South Korea, they say it will bar entry by foreigners who have visited Hubei province, and those who are already in the country will be quarantined for 14 days. The visa-free entry program for foreigners to the tourist island of Jeju will be temporarily suspended after 3 new cases were confirmed, bringing the number to 15. New Zealand has also announced that it would bar entry into the country from all foreign nationals arriving from mainland China, despite having no confirmed cases. The ban will be in effect for up to 14 days, reviewed every 48 hours, and includes all foreign travelers who leave or transit after the 2nd of February. In Germany, a plane carrying more than 100 citizens and family members landed in Frankfurt after being evacuated from the Chinese city of Wuhan. The country has confirmed a 7th case of the virus, though the health ministry has called for calm, warning against hysteria and hostility from the public. And an Indonesian plane carrying 243 nationals has arrived in Batam, and the evacuees will be quarantined for 14 days. There were 4 Indonesians who chose to remain for family reasons, while others were unable to meet the health requirements for flying. Well, that's the news update for this hour. It's time to let you know what the weather will be like for today, and after that, we'll take a quick break. Today is Monday, February 3rd, 2020, and we're looking at the newspaper headlines, starting with The Punch.
And The Punch has this headline for you. It says, Southwest plans anti-graft teams for Amotekun. Lagos, Ogun, Ikiti harmonize Amotekun bills on Thursday. Ogun, Ikiti police begin community policing recruitment. Just beside the masthead there, it says, coronavirus, quarantine yourself, Lagos tells China returnees. China reports 14,830 cases and 304 deaths. Now that number just keeps getting larger every day, and it's it's bordering on scary now. Importers face demurrage as seaport e-clearing runs into a hitch. It also says here, right at the top of the page, Nigeria's rising debt, a major concern according to the NESG FDC. Senate plans public hearing on Buhari's $29.9 billion loan request. Tragedy averted as Kaduna Winners Chapel bomber arrested. NAMA issues 30-day ultimatum to Delta Airlines, airports. And finally, on Lassa fever, Ondo places 600 on surveillance. That's what we have on the cover of the Punch.
All right, we've got the Vanguard here talking about insecurity. Anarchy looms, clerics warn, as protests hold nationwide. We support Cannes prayer walks, NSCIA says. An abducted seminarian killed after 3 weeks. That's a sad one. Pastor Adeboye leads thousands in 2-kilometer prayer walk. And Delta Can asks for Amotekun in Niger Delta. And a few other riders there. Life pensions. Court grants SERAP leave, compelling 36 governors to disclose payment. And police begin recruitment of 800 special constables in Nekiti. Insecurity. The long walk to community policing. That's a special report in the Vanguard this morning. And $29.9 billion loan, Buhari to spend money on 5 legacy projects, says the Senate. And federal government moves to sign pact on looted assets as Malami departs for the U.S. Ondo local government polls, alleged imposition of candidates threatens APC primaries. And up here, external reserves to drop below $37.5 billion in February. And Okada ban, police arrest 40 violators, impound 188 Okada, 78 tricycles. And that's what we have on the cover of the Vanguard.
We have the Guardian newspaper here as well. It says, 3 trillion naira after National Assembly Library suffers neglect. How sordid state of facility contributes to poor lawmaking. Lawmakers shun library, opt for private research avenues. No online portal for bills, other legislative documents, apparently. Starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 6. Just beside that story, it says, Adeboye leads prayer walk for Christians, protest against insecurity. Just under the masthead there, why Nigeria won't close borders to over coronavirus by minister and NIS. Why poor electricity supply may linger, according to TCN. Banned commercial motorcyclists, tricycles in Lagos move to Ogun. Others. And finally, suicide bomber arrested at Living Faith Church in Kaduna. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
Let's look at the Daily Sun. Can Pastor Adeboye march against killings, kidnappings? National Assembly leadership to meet Buhari over insecurity. Service chiefs. Bomb scare at Living Faith Church. And a few other stories. Federal government, U.S. to sign pact on looted assets. South-South leaders plan regional security outfit, and Nigeria has acquired in-country capacity to test coronavirus. And bandits kill seminarian after 3 weeks in captivity. That's a sad one. And up here, Uzodinma accuses Igbo PDP leaders of plotting to discredit, topple APC government, and pledges to follow Mbakwe's footsteps. And still on the cover of the Daily Sun here, we have a photo story. The General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, in green, leading pastors and members on a march against killings, kidnappings, and general insecurity in the country. And this was yesterday after the service. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Sun.
Okay, I'm not sure we have time for the Nigerian Tribune, but we can always take it in the next hour.
Yeah, we'll be back with traffic updates after this.
for staying tuned. It is time for Lagos traffic updates on Wake Up Nigeria. We're about to give you tips, as usual, on the best routes for you this morning to get to your destination faster. Now, as always, we encourage that you help other road users by dropping relevant traffic situation reports on all our social media pages using the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Okay, so this morning, I'm going to start from a different route. I'm starting off from the motorways axis for those going to Obalende on the bridge. And I'm sorry to report that the traffic is horrible this morning. As it is, it will take you at least an hour, 35 minutes to get to Obalende on that bridge. If you're just coming from motorways, that's the toll gate access. Toll gate seems pretty free. You just experience pockets of traffic until you are approaching Chinatown. That's where the traffic starts. So it builds up and then the gridlock totally begins and it runs through Ojodu, Bagada. In fact, you'd pass Bagada before you get some reprieve, and then pockets of light traffic, pockets of freeway, and then it's another gridlock just before you get on the bridge, and that gridlock will take you all through the bridge. I mean, as I said, no reprieve this morning. In fact, you get off the bridge before you get light traffic, and it's mostly like that. Light traffic, gridlock, light traffic, gridlock. So prepare your minds. You might spend 1 hour, 35 minutes, but just prepare your mind for 2 hours traffic on that axis. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys have updates for me. Let's hear it.
Complaining.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to use the word complain. I don't want to say rant. Okay, I've said rant already.
Yeah.
About the fact that, you know, they have to wait for vehicles that seem non-existent.
And even on traffic butter, there are commiserations from
different people.
From different people. Oh, if you're trekking today, oh, I'm so really sorry, and all of that.
Trekkers Union, yeah.
Get a trekking partner.
Yeah.
And things like that. But apart from that, just want to look at a few things about going on right now. So the toll gate, talking about the toll gate at 5:30 a.m., that's about an hour ago. It looks like there was a blockade there, but that has eased off.
Okay.
That was about an hour ago, and it looks like it's easing off now. And then also, there are several posts about the routes and also updates along several routes on the things that the Lagos State government is trying to do to ease the traffic and also help with the commuters as they move around and try to get to their destination.
Yes. Oh, okay.
I'm going to let you come up with more, but let me just give you this. That toll gate access you mentioned, Yomi,
yeah,
it's actually much worse now.
Wow.
Yeah, as soon as you're past toll gates, it's really terrible. That was the one I mentioned some minutes ago. So the traffic is really bad. Imagine spending almost 2 hours to get to Obalende from toll gate here today. That's how bad the traffic is.
So something
my
is going
suspicion,
on then.
Yeah, what did you say?
I said something must be going on then.
Yeah.
That's what it looks
My
like.
suspicion is that many people decided to drive. You know, most people will probably take buses or take bikes or alternatives. But because of the situation over the weekend, many people decided to take out their cars and find their way to work by driving themselves. So that's what I'm suspecting is the cause of the crazy traffic this morning. Talking about traffic, well, this axis is known for traffic anyway, so it wouldn't hurt nobody. 1 hour, 15 minutes is what it will take you to get to Mushin bus stop from Abule Egba bus stop. I expected it to be worse, so it's a good thing it's not that bad. 1 hour, 15 minutes happens sometimes, so hey, this isn't so bad after all. As it is, areas to look out for Iyanokpaja. There's traffic there, there's a gridlock. It starts with light traffic, and then you'd experience traffic through the bridge as well. Pockets of light traffic, pockets of gridlock. But it eases out, and it will continue that way until you get to Iyano. As you're approaching Iyano, the traffic starts, and then it's a gridlock. And I'm sorry to say that gridlock will take you past Ikeja along. It's going to take you past Cement, past Mangoro, past Ilezi, Kajayi Farm, Ikeja along, National. In fact, until you get to that intersection before you turn to go to the airport, that traffic is going to continue till you get there. So imagine starting the traffic from Iyano Dokpemu all the way to that axis. The traffic is bad this morning. And if you want to take the alternative of Agege, it isn't much better. You're just going to save about 5 minutes. So you might want to just stick it through on that axis. And another great area to look out for traffic-wise is Oshodi, of course. There's a gridlock there approaching Oshodi. That's the arena axis. It starts off as light traffic, and then the gridlock hits you. But as soon as you're past the bridge, though, for like 5 minutes after, it eases out, and it's mostly free traffic until you get to Mushin bus stop. So it's really not that bad this morning. Titi, you were going to tell me something earlier.
Oh, yeah, but I think if you want to get to the kitchen, we can continue on that. It has to do with the Okada ban, of course, and that does seem to be one of the main topics trending online. So
it's the number one trend, and we just want to also find out from our viewers what's going on in your area. There were a number of places on the island, Lekki axis, Victoria Island, that usually where the Okada parks were, and also the Mara, it was all empty, completely free. So. And people seemed like they were walking long distances. Actually, in a place called Agungi, you still had a number of the.
I need to come join you guys, okay? So I'll just join you in the kitchen right now. I remember, guys, drive carefully, be at alert. For those who haven't driven for a long time, be patient too. Driving is not easy, I know.
So some of them are still operating. So but they won't bring you to the bus stop. They'll just bring you to like a few. Maybe like 100 meters from the bus stop and quickly disappear back into the streets and things like that. So all of that is going on. So let us know what's happening in your area regarding the.
I'm seeing some cost breakdowns of the journey that some people are taking on Twitter. So it says broken journey Oshodi to CMS 200 naira, CMS to Aja 250 naira, Oshodi to Aja straight bus 500 naira.
Excuse me?
500 naira. So it's been adjusted. Apparently, it's supposed to be taking effect from today. This is from the Lagos Bus Services Limited. But the other buses that you were talking about this morning, I guess the independent, we call them the independent private.
The yellow buses.
The yellow buses. They are definitely not using those rates right now because people are complaining. Well, hey.
So there are several other things that the Lagos State government says they're trying to do. Bring in more buses, especially buses that can go into, buses that are not as large as the BRT buses that can go into other locations as well.
Not even the normal downfall. Yeah, the very small type. There's a very small type but then, so the ban is not everywhere. And on Saturday, what actually happened was that as it was reported that security officials took advantage of the ban, that even in places that the ban did not was not supposed to, be affected, they actually were seizing bikes there and all of that. They 15 LGAs and LCDAs, but then there are a lot of other places where Okadas and Keke are still supposed to ply. So the issue now has been that those people were being, they were reports of, going to the DPO, this road is not there, this road is part of it and all of that.
It's not clear yet.
Okay, so I just want to make a plea for the benefit of those who have to use their Legady's Benz. It's time for us to call out the NURTW. Please, you need to speak to your drivers. It's very important. It's ridiculous for people to have to pay so much more, even when there is no traffic in some cases. It began on Saturday. It's been terrible. Areas where you, get a vehicle for 50 naira, you're being made to pay 100, 150, which is absolutely insane. Hopefully something can be done about that. I know NURTW is the body that also regulates fares and all. Please do something about this because the minimum wage is not really helping yet. So people are still trying to adjust to it. So it's not a case of, there's more money. There is no money. People have been trying to stretch their purses for so long. So please talk to your drivers, talk to your louds, let them try as much as possible to regulate the prices.
So I wanted to find out, so people are saying new routes. So I don't know, so these new routes, does that mean that buses, the Lagos State buses are now passing these routes? So for instance, Berger to Ogba, I'm saying Berger to Ogba. I'm also seeing Ikeja to...
There's always been Beggar to
There's
Oba.
always been.
So-
There's
so
Ikeja to
officially-
Beja as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, there's Ikeja to Obalende as well.
So I'm seeing a
Like
few
that.
of those.
There's Obalende to Oshodi as well.
Okay, no, so what happens is that they pass through, they don't actually get to Ogba.
Yeah, right.
Beggar to Ogba is not, those blue buses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what they do is that they do Beggar and coming through Agidingbi and pause. They don't continue this way to Ogba.
Right.
Okay.
So people that want to go to Ogba, and they didn't stop at that junction, so there's no Ogba. But now if it's official, so, and then the problem with that, because of those roads are small, and those guys, I don't know, it's like, as a union, they used to drive anyhow. They used to feed that it's Ferrari they are driving, it's small.
Yeah.
Those, I'm serious.
Are you serious?
Those big
I haven't
buses.
seen them drive, bro.
So
Really,
I'm
I
talking
haven't.
about not as in steady, like they'll just be you're doing here, you'll be driving here, because they enter very small roads, and that is the problem. They're too big, and they're driving as if they are is small.
So if we can get smaller buses, I think I do believe that it's for the best, and that if you have more buses on the roads going to all those inner roads, then it becomes easier for the average commuter who can then maybe drop closest to their bus stop or closest to their house. And then, so it's not, instead of them walking like 30 minutes,
That was the
35 minutes to your
complaint.
house.
There was, I think it was Steph Busari, who's a media practitioner. She said that she got a new house help. The house help traveled 14 hours from Jos to Lagos. And then from the bus stop wherever to her house, the house about to trek over almost 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Because, there was no way to commute. And I think it's probably on the island. There was no way to commute from where she was dropped to the house. So she had to check. I know how those how those our places can be.
Well, the thing is this with this transportation issue. So if you live in certain areas, hopefully provisions will be made in such places. However, I know for sure that some people are happy with the news. I saw something on Twitter where a lady tweeted that if this ban had been enforced a month ago, her husband would probably still be alive. Wow. Apparently, he died in an Okada accident just about a month ago. And we also know the issues with the tricycles.
Of course.
But for those of us who have to body it regularly, it's very inconvenient. Nobody wants to walk when you're exhausted after a long day at work. So it's
what I've been seeing online is, people sending messages to their bosses and saying, oh, guy, I feel late today, because of the fact that they're not sure if they're going to see vehicles or not, because all the vehicles are already all packed. And then also there's the issue of the roads. Now, if the roads were wide enough and smooth enough for the bigger buses, there would likely be more bigger buses on the roads. So there's just so much to think about, so many different angles to take it from.
Me, I'm more particular about the fares because 15 naira from Magodo to K2 is now 100 naira.
So let's have
ridiculous.
our viewers contribute to the conversation.
What's
happening in your area? People who live around Lagos, Ikeja, if you're on the island, Yaba, Surulere, especially Surulere, and a number of other locations.
We would love to hear from you.
Let's know what's happening in your area regarding the Okada ban and the Mara ban as well.
Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Thank you for staying with us. It's Monday morning and we take a look at some major news in the tech world. And I wish it was possible here. I wish we've started this, but hey, come on, let's hope that it gets here as fast as possible. Now, Moscow is the latest major city to introduce live facial recognition cameras to its streets, with Major Sergei Sobyanin announcing that the technology is operating on a mass scale earlier this month, according to a report from Russian business paper Vedomosti. Now, it follows news earlier last week that London is integrating live facial recognition into daily police activities, with the Metropolitan Police deploying cameras in busy tourist and shopping areas to spot individuals wanted for serious and violent offenses. Now, facial recognition has been used by police for years to identify individuals in archive footage, but the deployment of live facial recognition systems is a new development. It lets law enforcement identify individuals in the crowd in real time, but privacy campaigners say it erodes civil liberties, turning anonymous public spaces into virtual identity parades. Okay, now, this is what it entails. You know your Facebook. Now, Facebook uses this algorithm that whenever someone puts a picture and you are part of the picture, it sends you a notification. Now, Facebook has been using this algorithm for almost a year now, for about a year, and you can get a notification that says that you are probably in this picture. And the algorithm is to a very, very large scale, it is very accurate. Like, I've seen pictures where my face is not clear, and I've been notified by Facebook that, hey, you are in this picture. That algorithm is facial recognition. Now, that what happens is that for live facial recognition, it sends you real time. So immediately your face pops up in the camera, the data, your information, your data goes straight to the police, to security officials, and they can know who you are, whatever you do, which is a very good one. People, when it comes to security, that is top of the mark. Okay, moving on from that, Microsoft is launching a new Xbox bounty program to reward gamers. Now, security researchers and anyone else who discovers security vulnerabilities in the Xbox Live network and services include rewards for up to $5,000. Now, as Microsoft is opening this up to gamers and anyone who has the skills to find flaws, it's expecting high-quality reports with a detailed write-up or video demonstration and a clear proof of concept. Now, Microsoft isn't looking for people to perform double DOS testing, social engineering attacks, or going too far on server-side execution issues. That's it, the Xbox. I love this preview of the Xbox X series, of course. That's what you just saw now is a preview. And Xbox, well, Microsoft, well, the parent company of Xbox, will give you an opportunity to try to hack and find security vulnerabilities with the system. And if you can find, they can pay you as high as $20,000. Now, that's quite big. Computer Village, this is a challenge for you. This is the one that you have to go for. Okay? Now, finally, in its latest quarterly earnings report, Facebook said it now reaches 2.5 billion monthly users, which is up 2% from the third quarter in 2019. And it brought in $21.08 billion in revenue, which is up 25% year over year. Now, but profits aren't growing as quickly as Wall Street would like. One big source of those expenses, well, headcount grew 26% year over year to 44,942. And Facebook now has over 1,000 engineers working on privacy. The news is that Facebook has, in spite of making over $21 billion last year, or in the third quarter, pardon me, in 3 months last year, they are making some sort of a loss. They're expected to have done better, and they're feeling that they can do better. 21 billion, and you're not doing well enough. Man, some of us, 21 million, wow. Well, that's quite something. Well, that is what it means to play in the big leagues. That's all on Tech this Monday morning. We have Performance. TT is about to tell us all about it.
Man, that feels like a champagne problem right there, you know. It's not for small boys. But we're moving on to some music right now. We have Okoje Kelvin Scott, also known as Flemex. Now, he's a multifaceted artist, someone that does all kinds of genres of music, but mostly Afro-pop. He's a graduate of Yaba Tech, and he studied elect, right? Yeah. Electrical and electronics, right? Yeah. Welcome to the show. Use your mic. Okay. All right, so talk to us, Flemex. When did you start in this music game?
About 5 years ago.
5 years ago? Yeah. And you decided to stay 5 years ago. It's been going good?
Yeah, it's been going well.
All right. Tell me about the song you're going to be performing today.
Okay, I'm performing Nobody, which I dropped about December on my birthday.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's Afro-pop.
All right.
Yeah, just a love song.
A love song called Nobody?
Yes, like...
It does feel like you are loving nobody, or how we did it?
Like nobody, like compared to nobody.
Oh,
like she's compared to nobody, yeah.
Now I get it. Yeah. All right, for all of us to connect even more with this track, he's going to be performing right now. Once again, Flemex with Nobody.
I feel the grace if I don't end up with you. If I really, every day I've never seen no one like you. Nobody, compared to nobody. This a fine body.
It is the second hour of your favorite premium family entertainment show. And if you're just joining us, we'll say welcome.
Now, love is a complicated, complex set of emotions, behaviors, and of course beliefs associated with strong feelings of affection. So, show some love, just because. My name is Titi Layo.
I'm just wondering about all these,
my
all these
dynamite
new
quotes
nowadays.
Hashtag dynamite quotes, hashtag wake up Nigeria, you know. Let's go there.
It's good. It's good. It's very nice. It's very nice. Anyway, we're streaming live right now, so join us on tvcentertainment.tv if you have to be out, and of course on Facebook as well at TVC Connect.
Send in your comments as soon as you can, especially when it comes to these dynamite quotes. Are they good? Are they not so good? Tell me. We'd love to hear them. With the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC, we'll get to know your thoughts.
Now, don't forget you can download our app as well, which allows you to view us from anywhere you are in the world.
Of course, we have a chef that will be stepping into the kitchen to make our taste buds brighten up this Monday morning.
Yeah, and just a little bit. That should be happening with, I think, Mary in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll let you know what's happening for the rest of the show.
Meanwhile, we have to take a stroll down memory lane. We're going to be looking at some specific moments in time with This Week in History.
Right after that, we have a second musical performance, this time from Oluwaseun Fikayo, also known as Chilex.
Oh, na na na. White up.
Victoria Praise Abram is the founder of Vic Abram Media. Now, she is also a best-selling author and motivational speaker. She'll be talking about always being prepared. Yes, we need to be prepared for what's to come this year, 2020.
Yeah. And, Mondays are for taking care of our cars. And Auto Sparkle Waterless Car Interior Detailing will be showing us a thing or two of cleaning the inside of your vehicles.
Today we also have spoken word, and on spoken word today we have rap musician and spoken word artist Toby Tong independently writing his own stories through music and
Me how
poetry.
I'm doing in the middle of a busy day, with the skies unsure what weather suits the day.
Finally, on SME today, we have from the House of Irawo, Abi and Dola Ikomi, a high-quality, ready-to-wear and custom-made Nigerian brand aspiring to become a global leader.
House of Stars, right? Is that Star?
Yes,
Irawo
Irawo
Star.
Star.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought the same thing too in the first hour.
Beautiful.
And talking about stars, two stars are
Trending.
being talked about on social media.
Yeah.
Beyonce and Jay-Z. Apparently, the Super Bowl started 12:30 a.m. West African time, that is. It started, of course, last night in the US. Yeah, technically. And it turned out that while the national anthem, that the US national anthem was being played, or being sung rather, they sat down with their daughter. They did not get up. And so it's trending right now because Americans are furious that it's disrespectful. No one knows the cause for which they did that. But of course, for them to have done that, it's definitely for a reason. But no one is quite sure what. But it's gotten so many people. Like,
I think so. Super Bowl is run by the NFL, and the NFL is known to have benched one of the star players from 2 years
Colin
ago.
Kaepernick.
Yeah, so that's still ongoing, and he has still not been able to find work. And the reason that happened was because he knelt down during the national anthem, and a number of other team members have done the same as well. So having the Super Bowl, which is run by the NFL, and you have Beyonce and Jay-Z, so maybe they're making a statement about that. So it's possible, but they haven't said anything yet.
And they're going to let this thing trend. They're going to let it trend until they decide to make their own statement.
The Beyonce and Jay-Z we know, they are not in a hurry.
No.
They can take 2 years or maybe even 5 years before making a statement
As long
about
as it's not against the law, they'll probably do it.
That's another thing.
Yeah. So
yeah, big day, I must say. I mean, Super Bowl odds are about the most expensive anywhere in the world. 30 seconds is about $4.2 million. For
That's
30
amazing.
seconds.
Maybe we should talk about the Super Bowl. Maybe we'll have some footage and a number of things.
Yeah, I think
because a number of things trended.
Before we
performance
talk about,
with
that's what I was going to
Shakira.
mention. J-Lo and Shakira. I thought you were moving on to something else.
Yeah, a number of things trended based on that Super Bowl. And some ads as well. There was an Old Town Road ad that I saw with Lil Nas and
people
all
make
that.
their statement there because, I mean, after Thanksgiving, that's the day that Americans eat the most. That's the day they drink the most.
Yes.
I mean, over, over 1 billion chicken
Mostly
wings.
junk, though. Wow. Yeah, that's the thing with Super Bowl. Mostly junk.
Of course, you can't carry amala inside Super Bowl. Then beer, of course, beer is consumed. So it's a big thing for them. But I don't know, it's not football. It's not calling football.
But it's also made people keep going on about whose performance is the best, whatever. And then some Americans are complaining because of J-Lo's pole dancing and all.
Oh, she did some pole dancing.
Yeah, and then their outfits, and some people are now fighting back that, come on now, the cheerleaders were more or less naked. Why are you complaining about Shakira and J-Lo?
You know what? This conversation is too long for this segment. We have to go to the news now.
And the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria is calling for the recognition of the Police Service Commission in checking the excesses of police officers. TVC News correspondent Tijesu Adeoye reports on the concerns of the civil rights group.
Reports of abuse of power, extrajudicial killings, extortion, and other infractions involving policemen seems to be on the rise lately. These days, the police is becoming unfriendly to the citizenry they are meant to protect. Not all incidents of injustice meted out by policemen are reported.
I've been called to order.
Now this civil rights group is saying if the Police Service Commission was allowed to do its work, these excesses would be curbed. The most recent incident is the unlawful arrest and brutal torture of a group of motor mechanics in Port Harcourt, leading to the death of one. Now this group has shifted focus on the Police Service Commission and believes it has the capacity to maintain decent police force.
I want to call on the Police Service Commission to look at the complaints we've sent to it over 6 months that they have not even bothered to even write us back to tell us that they have a complaint. You know, I appeal to Nigerians that they need to ensure that the Police Service Commission must not be allowed to die.
The police force and the Police Service Commission are currently locked in a superiority contest, and the matter is yet to be settled by a court of law. The police have always maintained that they have an internal mechanism to discipline erring officers, but it seems this has not deterred others. The unprecedented rise in professional indiscipline and misconduct by some members of the police force has got some Nigerians asking questions on if the police is truly your friend. Tijesu Adeoye, TVC News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, a disaster was averted at a church in Kaduna State yesterday when a suicide bomber was arrested. 34-year-old Nathaniel Samuel pretended to have come to church for worship but left to use a convenience, leaving behind a bag on his seat, suspected to be an explosive device. Tension began to grow among the worshippers, and a security team in the church came and took out the bag. The suspect was caught hiding, possibly waiting for an explosion. He was then handed over to the State Police Command for interrogation. It was learned that it wasn't the first time the suspect was coming to church, having been sent away just a week ago.
We've gone through our CCTV camera. We didn't see where he entered, but we saw how he entered the church and how he jumped the back and everything. The camera has not been able to pick him entering the church from both gates. How he managed to sneak in with that bag, it's a big bag, the normal school bag. It's something that we're still trying to find out from our own parts.
On health matters, Lagos State Ministry of Health has dismissed reports of a suspected case of coronavirus at a private hospital in Lagos. Commissioner for Health Akin Abayomi says the man arrived from China 4 days ago and needed to be monitored as part of response measures. Mr. Abayomi said the man was in Shanghai throughout his stay but didn't have any contact with anyone who was ill or from the Wuhan region. On his return to Lagos, he went to the hospital for checkup, but was found to exhibit no symptom and chose to remain in quarantine. Meanwhile, a man has died from the coronavirus in the Philippines, the first confirmed fatality outside of China. The World Health Organization says the man appeared to have been infected before arriving in the Philippines. So far, more than 300 people have died and thousands have been infected since the outbreak. Now, what measures are other countries taking to curb the spread of the coronavirus? South Korea says it will bar entry by foreigners who have visited Hubei province, and those who are already in the country will be quarantined for 14 days. The visa-free entry program for foreigners to the tourist island of Jeju will also be temporarily suspended after 3 new cases were confirmed, bringing the number to 15. New Zealand has also announced that it would bar entry into the country from all foreign nationals arriving from mainland China, despite having no confirmed cases. The ban will be in effect for up to 14 days, reviewed every 48 hours, and includes all foreign travelers who leave or transit after the 2nd of February. In Germany, a plane carrying more than 100 citizens and family members landed in Frankfurt after being evacuated from the Chinese city of Wuhan. The country has confirmed a 7th case of the virus, though the health ministry has called for calm, warning against hysteria and hostility from the public. Well, that's it for the news update for this hour.
Okay, good, wonderful. Now Toluwani is in the house. You're welcome. And we're doing something quite special this Monday morning. It's the first time I'm ever going to see this done anywhere. Toluwani, so tell us, what are we doing this morning?
Okay, so today we're making wache and wache stew. It's a Ghanaian street food, and trust me, it's amazing.
Street food. So I hear people call it wanke. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
but I think the Ghanaians themselves, they call it wachi.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so are we the ones that now
the way
stylized it or something?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. So let's talk about what we're working with. Let's look at our ingredients. What do we have? What are we using for this wachi?
To make the wachi itself, we'll be using the millet leaf, which is what gives it the special color.
Okay.
Then the black hide beans. This is the kind of beans that they use for.
This type of beans I used to eat growing up, by the way. So when I came to Lagos, I started eating, what do they call it now? Oloyin.
Yes.
All right. So, and then, of course, we have rice. Okay. The paste there. Tomato paste, just pure tomato, right? Is there any pepper with it?
No, there's pepper inside.
Okay, there's
so it's
pepper
like
inside.
A blend.
Like a blend, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then here we have...
beef cuts.
Beef cuts, bomo.
Yeah.
What's this? Liver?
Yes.
There's liver. There's shaki. Okay. And then we have seasoning cubes here. Yeah. We have tomato paste here.
Yes.
And then that's salt, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
There's ginger here.
Yes.
Is that ginger?
Garlic,
ginger, onions, and then what's that one? Nutmeg. Yes. Wonderful. I love what she has here because she doesn't just have it in processed flavor, and she has the natural ones here. That's what I love that, natural ones. Great, wonderful. So let's get started. Let's see how far we can go now. So what's the first thing? Our water is boiling, right?
Yes, it's boiling.
Okay.
So the first thing I'll do is to put this inside so we can bring out the colors, which is what we need.
Okay, so this is the, what do you call it now? The millet.
Millet leaf, yeah.
Millet leaf, right?
Yes.
Oh, well, this is wonderful.
This is for agbo. It's very good.
This is what it is for agbo?
Yes, now.
How about our food not be tasting like...
No, don't worry.
Our food should not taste like...
Don't worry. It's very good. Very good.
Agbo is good, eh?
Sure now.
Are you serious? Well, so much you really come and tell me the health or the complementary benefits of agbo.
Like, I used to know that this, like when they say you have shortage of blood or something, they'll ask you to prepare this and drink it.
This thing will give you blood.
Yes, that's what.
Is that true? Please let me know on social media. Millet leaves for agbo, it gives blood, right? Okay. While we're working on this, getting that done, we'll just take this short recess now. We'll still be back. There's a lot more to come on the show.
It's time for our trip down memory lane, going back as far sometimes by up to 100 or 200 years.
Yeah.
Even though today we're going to be starting with 2004.
It feels like just yesterday when this happened. But 2004, Mark Zuckerberg launches Facebook. Now, the social networking service launched as the Facebook, launched on February 4th, 2004. Mark Zuckerberg and his college roommates and fellow Harvard University students were given access to the site. Now, the website's membership was initially limited to Harvard students, but was expanded to other colleges in the Ivy League, and gradually most universities in the United States and Canada. And by September 2006, to everyone with a valid email address, along with an age requirement of being 13 and older. Today, almost everyone has a Facebook account, and they just reported over $25 billion profit in Q3 of last year.
Wow.
So, Facebook.
Amazing.
So 2004 to 2014 would have made it 10 years. So it's what?
About 16 years now.
16 years old.
16 years.
And it's really interesting what you can do from your college dorm.
Yeah, well, worldwide about probably 2.5 billion people now on Facebook, and that's huge. That's a massive social network. And still making the impact.
It started small.
Started very small. Anyway, this week in history, Modern Times by Charlie Chaplin premiered on February 5th, 1936. Now, this was the first silent film directed and written by and starring Charlie Chaplin, and was released on that date. It's an American comedy film in which this iconic little tramp character struggles to survive in the modern industrialized world. The film is a comment on the desperate employment and financial conditions many people faced during the Great Depression, conditions created in Chaplin's view by the efficiencies of modern industrialization.
All right, now this week in history, in 1953, Peter Pan by Walt Disney opens. Now, the 14th Disney animated feature film released on February 5th, 1953. Peter Pan is an animated fantasy adventure film based on the play The Boy Who Wouldn't Grow Up by J.M. Barrie. The three children of the Darling family receive a visit from Peter Pan, who takes them to Neverland, where an ongoing war between Peter Pan's gang of ragtag runaways and the evil pirate Captain Hook is taking place. Wendy and her brothers are whisked away to the magical world of Neverland with the hero of their bedtime stories, Peter Pan, Captain Hook.
Yeah.
Would you believe that was in 1953?
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
This week in history, in 1995, rapper Tupac Shakur was convicted on a sexual assault charge. Tupac Amaru Shakur, also popularly known as Tupac, for some of you who probably weren't born then. He was considered by many as one of the most significant rappers of all time, and much has been said and noted for addressing contemporary social issues that plagued inner cities, and he is considered a symbol of resistance and activism against inequality. But in 1995, after being convicted of molestation, Shakur became heavily involved in the growing East Coast-West Coast hip-hop rivalry. His double-disc album, All Eyes on Me, in 1996 became certified diamond by RIAA. And sadly, on September 7th in 1996, about a year later,
yeah, sad way he ended there. But you know, even from jail, he was releasing tracks. And it was just such an impact he made on the whole.
In a short time, while he was alive, he was just 25 years old. And quite a heavy body of work that is still relevant. A lot of his messages still relevant today. I like his song, Dear Mama. Very nice.
Yeah.
Heartfelt.
Goodness.
Heartfelt song.
He was such a poet. Rhythmically applied poetry, rap. That's when I understood how it was actually poetry. When I used to read through Tupac's lyrics, that's when I began to understand what it meant to be a rapper. But things have changed now. Now you hear things like, yeah. Like,
well, things haven't really changed. It's just a different kind of style, different kind of flow. So if you listen, if you listen, it's a different kind of flow. So
Eye
just need to
roll.
understand.
Eye
that.
roll. I'm doing the eye roll emoji in my mind. But yeah, that's what we have for this week in history as of right now. We're handing it over to Mary, who's standing by with a guest.
Thank you very much, Titi. This is something we've been doing a whole lot lately now, especially on Monday. He's talking about spoken word. And today we have rap musician and spoken word artist, Toby Tong, independently writing his stories through music and poetry, promoting Christian conscious and positive arts. That's not very popular. He brings an alternative style to spoken word poetry that undoubtedly displays his uniqueness and versatility. And it's such a pleasure to have you in the studio today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So what are we doing today? What exactly are you going to perform for us?
So I'm going to be performing a piece titled Love.
Love,
Yes,
okay. Is
love.
it because of February?
Not necessarily, but yet love. And I'm going to do like 2 verses afterwards, very short, to like round it off.
Aha, so we're going to hear the spoken word part, the rap as well.
Definitely.
Oh my gosh, I'm already excited. But why spoken word artistry? Why that?
So I started off writing poetry, and I think I got introduced to spoken word.
Okay.
I think 2 years ago, and that was very fascinating. And so like I started writing out spoken word poetry, and it was interesting, and it's amazing to perform poetry outside reading. Yeah, so
Okay, so instead of just singing, I know you sing as well.
Yes, I do.
What
Yes, I
don't you do?
Well,
do you produce yourself as well when you have to do production
well,
stuff?
a little bit of that, because I've been learning production lately.
Okay,
So, yes.
okay, so we can safely say you're a rapper, singer, producer as well.
Yeah, amateur, yes.
Okay, maybe cut-out producer. More like. All right, so we're looking forward to hearing your piece, Love. That's what it's titled.
yes, that's what it's
Okay,
titled.
all right, take it away.
I've always wondered what love meant. Wore these questions like hunched back with heavy burdens to hung in the wardrobe of my heart. A mighty volcano erupting from the insides of my skin, causing pores, these tiny tunnels for each strand of hair to grow. I mean that now I am grown. But I still have the same questions framed on the walls of my mind, not because I do not know the answers, but because I have searched for love in the eyes of so many people, and that's basically all I could find. Eyes and eyes and eyes. And in my highs and lows, I have fought the bows. I've battled against villains that were seemingly bold like friendship. She tricked me into believing it was fine to play safe, to claim you love a friend but look out mostly for yourself and leave their hearts in clay caves. She taught me to shade my love with an arc of my pride, taught me betrayal, left me hanging. Most people thought it was suicide, but I'm sure the last thing on my mind would have been killing myself, so I was still searching. And ultimately, life brought me a bottle of Gouda, tried to comfort me, but I shoved a hand off my shoulders like, ladies, when you graduate, right? And life tries to console you that your soulmate is coming very soon, but your mom's always reminding you, you're not getting any younger, my child. Find a man or woman, whatever the case may be, or woo man, whatever the case may be. I've searched in relationships, climbed the Mount Everest of my pride to scan properly, but suddenly got stuck in the webs of gravity and I fell in love. But this was nothing like I hoped for, because love is patient. Here she was trying to play doctor in the hospital of my heart. Love is patient. Here she was trying to play doctor in the hospital of my heart, give me a dagger to fix my scars, and ended up opening it wider, longer, deeper, and left me for dead. And death, she makes no mistakes, puts on a full armor of mischief, pulls the sword out the quiver, and high to the sky, eyes blood red. But then was a voice, the same that remembered Isaac, said, stop, turn. And there was the lamb for the slaughter, took on the weight of the world, held my burdens close to his heart like, hey, you're free now, you can run. Watched me skedaddle as he gave himself up to be hung in a tree, said, my child, I've loved you way before oceans and tides, before slings and stones, before religion and the law, before your parents were born, before your grandparents were formed, before your great-granddad said hello to your great-grandmom. I knew you, and I knew you'd be here today. I smiled, watched him invade all of my senses with the power of his glory like I've heard of it. I've seen it. I felt it brush my skin. I've perceived it. But, yes, there is a but to this story. How come we received of this love but yet find it so hard to show it? Or maybe we've not received it. Maybe we do not know it. Maybe we just gather in churches and pretend that we're full of it, but yet we're empty and we ignore it. See, he taught us of a love that looks out for its neighbor, thought of sacrifice. I mean, that's how he became our savior. Give us the analogy of the body of Christ, which can explain division of labor in the church. But we've taken most of these messages and thrown them in the trash can. Somebody explain this madness and chaos. See, love is patient, kind, long-suffering. She gives freely, yet I walk into the churches these days and the poor are still suffering. She keeps no record of wrong, so it's like she purchases a CD, right? And realizes that every time he plays, it reminds her of people's mistakes, and so she doesn't keep it. She breaks it and throws it out the gate. See, love is never easy, but it's why we have the Holy Spirit within. You see, some people show love only on the 14th of February. They pay attention to the things that are temporary. My advice to the man in the mirror, look around, showing now there are no friends in the cemetery. My confession, my religion makes it hard for me. We don't make a joyful noise, we make noise, but joyfully. Why should I believe if I don't get it? The message is to practice what you preach. We don't get it. Like others point fingers and all they say is see. I feel they're being perfect, but I'm perfect in the spirit. I'll be what I gotta be with no apologies. And you can be whatever, like if only you believe in the sun. See, it takes a quiet man, loud mind to contain truth. Einstein, Jesus Christ, who do you choose? Do these daily life challenges ever get you so confused? It's not enough to be a rapper. Who am I outside the booth? Who are you outside the churches when temptations come for you? Hate the sin, but love the sinner. Do you even love you? Guilt tripping every time that you fall. Nobody's innocent. Jesus being nailed to the cross is still the evidence. Why do we complain? Tell me, why do you worry? You know you did it wrong, but why so hard to say you're sorry? Dying is not a joke, yet living is not funny. Why is it so hard to get that money? I've been thinking about me lately. Well, isn't that crazy? Is that selfishness? Because how can I deny saving? Speak the truth to people yet live lies daily? I don't know. I'm just trying to be a better man. Thank you.
Welcome back. Victoria Praise Abram is the founder of Vic Abram Media Nigeria Limited. Now, she's the best-selling author of over 12 books and a motivational writer, speaker, songwriter, poet, and gospel artist. Now, she'll be talking about being prepared this morning, and I think it's a really apt time to talk about this. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to you.
Yes, to you too.
Being prepared. So my first question is, being prepared for what?
To take over.
Okay.
To win. To excel.
Okay.
To shine.
Being prepared.
To be the best you possible.
It feels like everyone knows what they will do when they become a success, though. Is this true? Not always.
Not always.
Yeah.
Most people don't even conceptualize, if you like, who they want to be. You know, a lot of people just wish, hope, but they don't actually take time to prepare.
So how do we go about preparing ourselves for this big win that's about to happen? What's the process like?
Well, preparation itself is a state of readiness.
Okay.
Being alert, being mindful, being attentive, you know. So you need to pay attention to studying, training, rehearsing, if you're a singer, an actor, an actress. You need to pay attention to coaching, you know, exercising, and brainstorming.
Okay, so now this preparedness, you know, obviously it's a long process and not everybody understands what they're even preparing for in the first place. What are the advantages of being prepared?
Well, that's a good question. When you're prepared, you're ready.
Okay.
And when you're ready, you manifest.
Okay.
You shine, you excel, you prosper, you do well. So, you know, once you're prepared, you're ready to go to the next level.
Okay.
And that next level would involve you taking on new opportunities, taking on new horizons, taking on new vistas, you know, going out of your comfort zone. So preparation brings you good success.
Okay.
When you're prepared, you are able to gain recognition, and then your star really, really shines.
I have to say, I would love to know what sort of methods you have personally put in place to, prepare your own self, yourself as a case study now.
Okay. I started writing about 18 years ago. And it started very, very small, just writing, just ideas, one-liners, and I did that for many years, well over like 5, 7 years. At a point, I decided it was time to go to the next level. And then I decided I was going to put all my writings and make it into a book. And that was my first debut, titled Treasures. So that many years of preparation took me to my next level, where I was able to birth my first book, Treasures, 2011. And then I continued. I was sharing my writing on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on all the social media, networks. I was just sharing it. I wasn't doing it for the money. I was just writing and sharing motivationals.
So that process was, in essence, preparing you for where you are now.
Exactly. Today, I've written 12 books, amazing books, if I say so.
Of course, we do as well.
Exactly. And just 2019 ending, I was able to publish what I call my finest and my best book on the very revered Pastor E.A. Adeboye.
Okay.
So
now, if for instance, someone is not prepared and they come into sudden fame or sudden stardom, maybe they're just thrust into the limelight because of something they did.
Yes.
Without being prepared, what are the things that could possibly happen?
Well, their success is not going to be long-lived.
Okay.
That's for sure. Because preparation is the mother of success. So if you're not prepared, it's going to be a fluke. You're just going to appear and disappear. But when you're prepared, you're grounded, your foundations are right, your character is right, your integrity is right, everything that needs to be in place to keep you in the long haul will be in place because you're prepared. So failure, demotion, shame can happen when you come into sudden fame and you're not prepared.
Okay, so we have to wrap this up now.
Okay.
But I have to say thank you so much for coming to talk to us once again. Victoria Praise Abraham is going to be back again very, very soon. We'd love to hear your thoughts on what she said. Please use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC. We're going over to Mike now. Mike, it's all yours.
Don't you like how that thing, don't you like that, Titi?
Really, what is that? What, the steam? Are you playing with the? Are you playing with the food?
So Toluwani knows what she is doing. Like she's on a very, very speedy level, right? So we've gone quite very far. Let's roll back a bit. Let people catch up. By the time when we started, we just had the millet leaves in it, right?
Yes.
Okay, but now we have gone so very far. So let's talk to them. From the millet leaves, what next came in, and how do we get to this point?
Okay. After the millet leaf, I added the beans to cook. So when the beans were soft, not all soft, but like the kind of soft where by the time you pour your rice, it balances at the end of the day.
How do you know that level? That level is always very hard.
You would touch the beans.
Okay.
So like it would be a little bit soft already.
Okay.
So I throw in my rice and it's cooking already. So there is this thing about millet leaf. Like there are some that naturally they come out very colorful, but sometimes you need to enhance the coloring by adding maybe potash. That's corn.
All right. So now, just before she goes on with that, just hold that thought. Where do you end the potash? Corn. Yes. All right. Let's take a look at the menu. What we have today. We're cooking wake. Wache.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing there is the slang name, but wache. Yeah. We have our rice, we have our millet leaf, we have our black-eyed beans, we have our garlic, we have our onions, we have our what now? ginger,
beef
okay.
cut,
Beef cut, okay,
tomato
there.
paste.
Spices, onions, vegetable oil, seasoning, Cheeto sauce, tinned tomatoes, tomato sauce, garlic, and of course ginger. Seasoning cubes also. And yeah, so let's talk about, you said something about potash, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what you were talking about. Okay, so where does that come in? How?
You can put it almost immediately after the minute leaf to
To
just
help
bring out
for
the color.
the coloring, right?
Yes.
It has this, the orange, I don't know, maroon kind of color and all of that.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah.
the color for wachi. If it's not this color, then it's not what you're cooking.
Ah!
Yes.
Are you serious? Okay, what if I do the color and it doesn't have the ingredients? But then let's talk about our sauce here. Okay, so let's talk about our sauce here. How do we get this sauce together?
The sauce, you blend your garlic, ginger, onions. You blend them very smoothly. So because you don't want too much water and you want to save time. After you blend them together, you can sieve out the water. So I placed my pot. Then you had your oil, medium heat. And once it's a little bit hot, you pour in the garlic, ginger. You stir very well.
Right.
You stir dry. Then you add your tomato puree into it. Then I kept on stirring it. After which I added my blended pepper into it. Then because I want the pepper and everything to, I want the beef to be tasty. So I needed to add my beef already. So the whole thing can mix together. You know how it rolls now.
It's only that people like us are fasting. No, we don't just understand this kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So you've been fasting.
Yes, so 49 days.
It's even good. So that means I'll eat my food.
Eh?
Yes, now. You're fasting.
It depends on the kind of fast. Fast have different levels.
Really?
You have different levels, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, so how long are we waiting for this to get optimal?
This is just going to cook.
So you have a foil. What are you doing with the foil?
To cover the rice and the beans.
Oh, why?
Yeah.
Why do you use a foil?
The foil would allow it to cook evenly, and aside that, there's this taste.
Oh.
You know there is this taste that comes with jollof rice, like this when they say smoky jollof rice kind of thing.
Okay, so
this
one helps.
too, it helps.
It helps.
Yeah, give it.
And so you see, she's just giving out all her tricks here. Toluwani, you're making sense. Just giving out all her tricks. But yeah. So would it still be on the fire when you put this?
Yes,
it will still be on the fire, eh? Okay, good. Let's see how you do that.
But usually I will just reduce the heat, so it just steams like.
Okay, so let's reduce
it's not
it.
going to be, yeah.
Okay, let's see what we can do. Okay, while this is here, let's work on reducing this. Okay. All right, let's reduce it. Let's reduce it. Okay. No, that's too low. Okay. All right, let's reduce this one also. Okay. All my haters are just looking at me anyhow from behind the camera. Would you calm down? Was he fasting? All right, Toluwani, of course, working on the wache. We're getting it's almost all rounded up, but we'll just take this recess now. There's still some more to come on the show. You don't want to miss what we have. We'll be right back.
So we're back, and hopefully some people are beginning to catch the love bug. It's the month of February, and Cupid is somewhere around the corner.
Cupid is floating around somewhere. And if you haven't heard, we're offering you the chance to meet someone special through a blind date. Now, you could just be the one to meet your soulmate this month.
Yeah.
My name is Titilayo Oyinson.
All expense paid blind dates, courtesy of all of us here on Wake Up Nigeria. So we're going to be giving all the instructions of what you should do probably later on, starting today, I think.
Of course.
And I'm Yomi Ope. Get online right now, stream with us, and also follow all our instructions regarding the blind date if you are interested. We're also on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Now, once you use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC, you can connect with us. All the answers to our questions and everything you need should be right there with that hashtag. And if you haven't yet, you should download our app for both Android and iOS stores. It'll allow you to watch us from anywhere in the world.
Something special is happening in the kitchen. Was that chicken wings I was seeing earlier?
I know
Absolutely
it's called
amazing.
wache.
Yeah, it just looks really good.
Looks good. So
Super
Mike
juicy
has a
looking
way of being in the
meat.
kitchen
Yeah.
when something very extra special is happening.
Extraordinary.
But he's not wearing an apron, and I'm about to protest.
Yomi and Titi.
Mike, where's
Yomi and
your
Titi.
apron?
Both of you should focus. Please tell us the highlights that we have next. Forget about the kitchen. We're okay in the kitchen. You
can see the chef hard at work. You know, cutting
Toluwani, she knows what she's doing.
Cutting those vegetables, very nice.
Please,
Anyway.
Chef, you need to tell Mike to stop opening the pot though, because the steam is required to cook the food. Once you keep opening it, you're reducing the steam.
Anyways, Auto Sparkle this morning. Something special is going to be happening with our cars, showing us how to deal with our interiors in a manner that keeps the car lasting longer. Jesus.
And finally, on SME today, we have from House of Irawo, Abi and Dola Ikomi. High quality, ready to wear and custom made Nigerian brand that aspires to become a global leader. We'll be hearing a lot more from them soon.
Whenever I hear made in Nigeria, I don't know, I feel excited, especially when I see quality stuff. Sometimes they're pricey, but it's always good to see something made in Nigeria.
Nigerians are making a lot of great things now.
Yeah. So just for me, a shout out. Yesterday, I was very excited. The GO of RCCG, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, who had a sort of prayer walk slash. I'm not protest, but you know, I love that. You see, when we all understand, and there's something he said all lives matter and all that. You know, when we get to that point whereby we need to hold our leaders responsible for some things, and it's not just about sitting down and just praying about it, but then going out and say, okay, hey, we need to be accountable for ourselves. Lives, things are happening. It was, for me, it was a very wonderful gesture. I was smiling from, I know this is what we need.
Yeah, it was one of the top trends yesterday.
Kudos to him.
Just, encouraging people to speak up about the things that are happening around them, and also, just ensuring that, look, lives matter. Bloodshed isn't something that we should become comfortable with. It's not something that we should now be, oh, this happened, 20 people died yesterday, and you just move on to the next thing. It's not normal in a country that's supposed to be at peace. So I think, it's one of the things that we should continue to
and talking about death, there's also need to shed light on coronavirus as well as Lassa fever. Domestically, we have Lassa fever we are dealing with. It's really spread. And internationally, there's also the coronavirus. There was this crazy rumor over the weekend, which thankfully has been dispelled, about it being in Lagos. So let's just try as much as possible to be really careful. It's sad and it's crazy as well, how rapidly it has blown. I was actually shocked to hear over 300 people already gone.
But it's commendable to see the effort that they are taking in China, constructing a hospital within 6 or 7 days.
10 days,
actually. To make sure they curbed it going out of Wuhan, right? It's Wuhan. And they are also trying to build another one very close by as well, even larger capacity to sort of make sure that it's contained.
It's even gone beyond Wuhan. In fact, Hong Kong already recorded their own death as well due to it. So let's just try to be careful, really.
We're going to be taking the news update now.
And the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria is calling for the recognition of the Police Service Commission and in checking the excesses of police officers. TVC News correspondent Tijesu Adeoye reports on the concerns of the civil rights group.
Reports of abuse of power, extrajudicial killings, extortion, and other infractions involving policemen seems to be on the rise lately. These days, the police is becoming unfriendly to the citizenry they are meant to protect. Not all incidents of injustice meted out by policemen are reported.
I've been called to order
Now this civil rights group is saying if the Police Service Commission was allowed to do its work, these excesses would be curbed. The most recent incident is the unlawful arrest and brutal torture of a group of motor mechanics in Port Harcourt, leading to the death of one. Now this group has shifted focus on the Police Service Commission and believes it has the capacity to maintain decent police force.
I want to call on the Police Service Commission to look at the complaints we've sent to it over 6 months that they have not even bothered to even write us back to tell us that they have a complaint. Appeal to Nigerians that they need to ensure that the Police Service Commission must not be allowed to die.
The police force and the Police Service Commission are currently locked in a superiority contest, and the matter is yet to be settled by a court of law. The police have always maintained that they have an internal mechanism to discipline erring officers, but it seems this has not deterred others. The unprecedented rise in professional indiscipline and misconduct by some members of the police force has got some Nigerians asking questions on if the police is truly your friend. Tijesu Adeoye, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, in health matters now, Lagos State Ministry of Health has dismissed reports of a suspected case of coronavirus at a private hospital in Lagos. Commissioner for Health, Akin Abayomi, says the man arrived from China 4 days ago and needed to be monitored as part of response measures. Mr. Abayomi said the man was in Shanghai throughout his stay and didn't have any contact with anyone who was ill or from that region. On his return to Lagos, he went to the hospital for a checkup, but exhibited no symptom and chose to go on self-quarantine. Meanwhile, a man has died of the coronavirus in the Philippines, the first confirmed case of fatality outside China. The World Health Organization says the man appeared to have been infected before arriving in the Philippines. So far, more than 300 people have died and thousands have been affected since the outbreak. Now, what measures are other countries taking to curb the spread of this disease? South Korea says it will bar entry by foreigners who have visited Hubei province, and those who are already in the country will be quarantined for 14 days. The visa-free entry program for foreigners to the tourist island of Jeju will also be temporarily suspended after 3 new cases were confirmed, bringing the number to 15. New Zealand has also announced that it would bar entry into the country from all foreign nationals arriving from mainland China, despite having no confirmed cases. The ban will be in effect for up to 14 days, reviewed every 48 hours, include all foreigners, travelers who leave or transit after the 2nd of February. In Germany, a plane carrying more than 100 citizens and family members landed in Frankfurt after being evacuated from the Chinese city of Wuhan. The country has confirmed a 7th case of the virus, though the health ministry has called for calm, warning against hysteria and hostility from the public. And an Indonesian plane carrying 243 nationals has arrived in Batam, and the evacuees will be quarantined for 14 days. There were 4 Indonesians who chose to remain for family reasons, while others were unable to meet the health requirements for flying. Meanwhile, a disaster was averted at a church in Kaduna State yesterday when a suspected suicide bomber was arrested. 34-year-old Nathaniel Samuel pretended to have come to church to worship, but left to use the convenience, leaving behind a bag on a seat suspected to have been an explosive device. Tension began to grow among the worshippers, and the security team in the church came in and took the bag. The suspect was caught hiding, possibly waiting for an explosion. He was handed over to the State Police Command for interrogation. It was also learned that it wasn't the first time the suspect was coming to church, having been sent away just the week before.
We've gone through our CCTV camera. We didn't see where he entered, but we saw how he entered the church and how he jumped the back and everything. The camera has not been able to pick him entering the church from both gates. How he managed to sneak in with that bag, it's a big bag, the normal school bag. It's something that we're still trying to find out from our own parts.
Well, that's it on the news update on Wake Up Nigeria for
Time
today.
for us to have some more music. We have Ajayolua Seun Fikayo here, a.k.a. Chilex. Now, he's been doing music about 3 years now, but started professionally just last year. He'll be performing the song Shade. Okay, whenever I hear a guy call the name of his song, a woman's name, I'm always like, waiting Shade do? What did she do? Talk to us about that.
Shade is she's not faithful, like she's corner something. She's not straight.
And you decided to write a song about her.
Yeah.
Why?
Because she's not straight. She's not straightforward. She's always
Use your mic, darling.
she's always going at the back of me doing what she's not supposed to do.
Is there really a Shade?
Yes, there's Shade.
There's a Shade? Yes. Okay, Shade. I hope she's watching. Yeah. Right now, this song is for you. Chilex with the song Shade.
I'm a too nice, I'm a too rare. Why if you give me love, oh, Shade, yeah. I'll be honest there with you. I'll be honest there if you give me love, oh.
Great one there. Okay, so we're back in the kitchen and we are done. Toluwani, well done.
Thank
you know what
you.
you're doing. You know what you're doing.
Thank
so, so this is how they get that party effect, eh? All right.
Yes.
So we the foil is off and we have to take out the leaves because of course we can't continue with the leaves, right? Okay, so let's take it out and do some plating all over. This are meat. Did we fry it?
Yes, it's fried.
It's
like
fried.
partly fried. I really don't like my own meat like too hard. So there's this way you fry it, like so that when it gets to the sauce, you know, it becomes tender. It's not all that hard. A lot of people don't have like.
Yeah. She really does know what she's doing, right? Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So that's it. So the leaves are done, and all that. So these leaves are. Is there what? Can you get these leaves like in a grinded form or something? Does it have to be this way?
I'm not sure there is a grinded one for it. And
Yet, okay.
Yet. So it just has to be like this.
Okay.
The fact that it's not, a lot of people, it's not as if white cheese everyday thing, maybe they would have, but because, you know, it's only selected few that likes it.
It's not selected few. There's one area in my place like this. If you stay to say, okay, watch it, you see the queue there. It's every day. It's every day. If you see the queue is not small.
People that stays on the island and stuff, they like people like you guys don't like it. But you see the me that stays in all this
Depends, there are different kinds of island.
Okay.
Makuko, they used to call Makuko Island too. So you have to be when you say island.
So what part of island is your own island?
When any kind of island. In that island, you know some place in Aja, if you see the yaba so you're there, it will shock you, okay?
Yes.
All right, but it's done, and our sauce is done. Okay, so let's dispose with this. Let's dispose of this. All over. So let's see if we can do some plating. Okay, why do you have to use this leaf?
I always like, you know,
the local feel or something.
Yes, and then there's this way you present your food, let people want to eat it. I'm always conscious of that.
Oh, wow. That's for those of us that are fasting 49 days, you know.
It's your fast.
Okay, so let's go with the plating and all that. The leaf also adds some effect, so yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Sure.
Okay. So, you know, people know me, when they do me, you will not see this food. Once she plates this one, this pot is going. So I want to go and visit some people. And when we visit some people, I'm fasting. So it's for other people.
Right.
I don't know why my haters, Titi and Mary, are leading the crew. They are laughing me and say, they are hearing your voice. So this plate is going to people that have not eaten this weekend. It's not even, you know, some people know it. So please, all of you, you are doing well. Just please, you are doing well. Just be doing well by yourself. Because once it's through this door, I'm carrying this something. Please, just focus on the issue. There's chicken wings inside, though.
Yes, so.
There's chicken wings inside, though. Wow. Please, silence in the studio, silence on set, thank you. Silence in the PCR. Of course, that's the place that controls everything you see here. You know what I mean? Why you smile like that?
Yeah.
You're doing SME. Focus. You're doing SME next. Focus on your... You will not be asking questions about 1K when you're supposed to be doing about something.
Keep your hands away from my breakfast. Okay, really, really important.
You sure you watch Willy Willy growing up? Things will just disappear, but hey, come on. Our food is ready, and this is what it looks like. Wonderful. We'll just take this short break. Now, when we get back, of course, it's our SME Monday morning. Yomi has something interesting for you. You don't want to miss that.
All right, so every Monday we bring you like a special feature of an SME. And today, House of Irawo aspires to become a global leader in increasing the accessibility of high-quality, ready-to-wear and custom-made Nigerian pieces. Irawo translates to stars in Yoruba land, so that means a house of stars is the brand. And their goal is to make every woman glow with style and elegance. And this morning, I'm joined by the founders or the co-founders of this organization, Abby and Dola Ikomi, this morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You know, when I sit here with SMEs and owners of SMEs, it's always a joy because any business that is surviving in Nigeria and doing well is what you would call a testimony. Testimony to hard work, to resilience, relentlessness and all that. So I want to say well done to you guys.
Thank you.
So let's talk about how this business started. I know that you are a mom and daughter duo.
Yes, we are.
So obviously this idea or this business started from you.
Yes.
Right. So to talk to us about the start of House of Irawo.
Yes, thank you very much again. House of Irawo started 2017. I think what really prompted it is the fact that I've always been very fashion forward. A lot of my friends will come to me for styling tips and styling ideas. So it was something that, you know, I was just very comfortable doing. So after my kids, my first two daughters graduated in the US in 2017, April. And they said to me, Mom, we would like for you to bring us Ankara and all that. And it was so difficult for me to find. I went everywhere. I couldn't. And then I said to myself, after I go back, like, you know what, Abby, you can do this. People have always said, you know, you're natural. So I just started, just like that.
You started this ready-to-wear pieces, and obviously, I mean, you've been with a bit of experience that you had, being someone who's into fashion and all that. You then pushed out. Now, what were the most important things that you needed to put in place when you were starting in 2017? Because I mean, obviously, if you're doing a business, you can't just jump into it.
Oh, no.
So what were the most important, the key things that you looked at?
The first factor was to get a good team to work with. That was very important because really, no matter how creative you are or talented you are, if you don't have the right people to work with, then you're just, you know, on ground zero. So then, of course, then I reached out to my daughters and I told them, guys, this is what I want to do. And knowing that they've also loved fashion, so it was easy for us to just then, you know, blend. And then I went into the market and into the job market, started recruiting, and luckily I was just so blessed. People just kept coming to me and, you know, offering their services. And yeah, that's where we are today.
That's amazing. I mean, Dola, you graduated over in the US and you decided that, okay, you know what, I'm going back to Nigeria to join my mother in this business. Was this an easy decision for you?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense of I love Nigeria. I love anytime I would come here from holidays, I'd always was like, oh, I have to go back into the cold. So working with my mom and it's a family business, it's honestly been a really great decision. My background is in advertising and marketing. So while my mom is the creative designer and the director, I help really push out the brand into the market and help with the operations as well. So it's really honestly a very dynamic duo. We also have two other sisters who are also part of the business as well. One is a brand consultant and the other is more of the accounting finance person.
I like it. So
that's
this is
not me.
so this is a standard family business.
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
The Comey family
Yes,
doing
you call us the Kardashian of Nigeria.
so pushing fashion, doing the
Yes.
branding, and you know, just, you know, keeping it all in the family. That's really, really good. So let's talk about the challenges, because I mean, I know that there are lots of people who are doing ready-to-wear Ankara pieces now. The industry is expanding. Government is paying attention. But what are the challenges that you would say are the biggest challenges that you have in this
I
business?
would say the cost of running the business. you know, most of the time we're on generator. And that is really capital intensive. It bites into our profit. So you can imagine, you know, because our service is almost 24 hours, you know, when clients come in for our custom-made pieces, they come in and they're expecting you to return their, you know, their finished product. So they don't want to know if you don't have power or whatever, they just expect you to deliver.
And in Nigeria, you know, some of these things are time-bound.
They are really time-bound. They have an event, and you know how we all do, women here. They have an event on Saturday, somebody's calling you on Thursday. Please, you know, you guys, you have to help me, blah, blah, blah. So you're not going to tell them the challenges, you just want to deliver.
Right.
So you're on constant generator. And that really is, you know, it's something that borders any SME. You know, it's really sad that we have to really spend most of our profit on diesel and all that. And then another, I would say staffing, you know, because sometimes, you know, you take a lot of effort to train your staff. And then, you know,
after a while, they
just disappear. Yeah.
Exactly.
They disappear.
It's one of the things that I also wanted to talk about. The fact that in Nigeria, people have always complained that sometimes you get a good piece and it's really, really good at the time you get it. But Nigerian designers can maintain that quality. So would you say that the staffing is part of the challenge? So you have a very good guy that you've had for 6 months or 1 year, and then suddenly you have to train somebody else.
Yes, that can really affect you, really, if you're not prepared. For someone like me, you know, I'm a solution expert. I always call myself that, not because I have training in it, but I always like to anticipate. So I'm waiting, I know, okay, the typical thing is for you to train someone, and maybe someone will come and poach them. That happens a lot. So make sure you have enough staffing so you're well equipped to manage any crisis that come up.
Yeah. Now, Dola, you are, of course, handling marketing for this brand. One of the challenges that businesses also have in Nigeria is scaling up. If I want to expand, I'm getting more demand for my products. It used to only be in Lagos. Now, Port Harcourt is calling me.
Exactly.
Maybe Accra is calling me. Your friends over in the US are asking for more. How do you ensure that you can meet the increasing demand for the business, especially as the market is opening up?
Definitely. Well, thank God for e-commerce and our online shipping as well. That has really been something that we really want to take off as well this year, because we're seeing that our customer base has really expanded. It used to be, you know, more of our network, our friends and family, but now we have people from Canada calling us, which is really a blessing, from all over the world. So it's really about making sure your operations and logistics are, you know, really intact.
Yeah, because one of the things that I know, it's also a big challenge. Sometimes you have a great business and you can't meet the demand and so, or the quality.
Exactly.
So how do you just maintain that minimum standard though, especially when you're shipping out, you know, across the world?
Yeah, quality control.
Yeah, exactly.
We just make sure that our quality control team, they are on top of everything. And I supervise a lot. You will call me a hard worker. I work 24/7.
And I would say also, especially with our clients abroad, we even make sure things are even more perfect. Because if it's someone in Lagos, for example, or Abuja, we can definitely, you know, find a way to resolve it. But if it's someone abroad, if you live far away, you know, we make sure that it's always perfect before giving it out to the world.
To return it from there would be a problem.
That's amazing. House of Stars, House of Irawal, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. And as a reward for all your hard work, you know, this happens once in a while, we're going to be taking you to the kitchen where you're going to be tasting the food. We've been hard at work since about 7 a.m. So the food is ready, and we're going to do a walk to the kitchen.
We're ready.
Please join us.
Thank you.
This way, please.
Thank you.
Okay, so we spent some time, very, very hard work, getting all of this together.
Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Hello.
This is Abby and Dola Ikomi.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi. Hello.
The dresses are lovely.
Thank you. Thank you.
The dresses and this food, I don't know which one is lovelier.
That's our dresses.
Okay. But I prepared this food, so definitely the food is lovelier.
Thank you.
Yeah, myself and Chef Tolu.
Okay.
Can you grab a seat, please?
Oh, yeah,
can you grab a seat? Thank you. So this is Toluwani, and we prepared this for you. Toluwani, can you run them through what we did?
Okay.
I love this we that you keep saying.
You are the king of weeds.
Toluwani, can you please just
this
very
is
fast?
wache.
Okay.
Wache stew and
Love the name.
shitor,
Yes,
then with
of course.
coleslaw. That's what I made for you.
Oh,
Let's give us the guest.
So let's go to you guys.
So we're meant to dig in?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Tell us what you think. This is so funny because we were just talking about Shito this morning.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
You guys are in the spirit.
We're in the spirits. We're in the spirits.
Talking about it.
So start from anywhere. Let us know what you think. And while that is going on, I want to say a big thank you to Homely NG for the kitchen accessories.
Of course, also a big shout out to everyone who was on the show today. It's been a marvelous Monday, I have to say.
Yes, it has. Yes,
You guys are too colorful.
Yeah.
The dress and the food, like the color is just.
Yeah.
See, we have to you can eat and still slay.
They look good.
Yeah.
And they also look so stunning, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh my
Every
God.
day I'll be tasting our food, right?
I'll be back.
So what do you think about the food?
Nice.
Very
Nice.
Wow.
I love
Really
it.
good. Really good.
Amazing stuff.
I hope the recipe is online somewhere, so our viewers can also.
All right, tasty paradise.
Well done, everybody. Well done.
Thank you.
It's been a great show today. We're going to be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. again
Yes, sir.
on the show.
Make sure you join us. Have a great day. Bye.